Welcome to Your Journey. I'm your host, Chuck Lewis, and we got a special guest with us today, and Brandon Payne, aka Smoke. What's going on, man?
What up, Chuck Lou? What's good?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Good to see you, man. Obviously, right now, man, we in this transition, just dealing with this COVID-19, man. There's a lot going on. How have you and your family adjusted with everything?
Man, it's I feel like it's an adjustment every day, bro. You know what I mean? Kids want to do stuff. We got to kind of hold them back a little bit.
Right.
But I mean, we manage it. We're doing the right thing, doing everything our moms taught us. You know what I mean? Wash your hands and stay out of people's face.
That's it, man. I mean, just taking the proper precautions, just wearing a mask. I mean, right now they got the vaccine going. So obviously you're a teacher, so you're in the mix of all those things and trying to figure that out for yourself. But it's just been a lot. It's been a new way of living. It's almost like we in this new normal. So we just trying to take one day at a time and just trying to stay safe. But let's get right into it, man. So Brandon Payne, you're from Rankin, PA. Talk about what it was like growing up there as a kid.
Oh, man. This is a long time ago, bro. Real talk, man. It was dope. To be honest, man, I really had no complaints growing up. We did everything we could to just, we had fun, man. Growing up in Rankin, you had the village, you got the Sades up top, we did everything just to have fun, man. A lot of sports, a lot of kicking it with each other, kicking it with the homies, the homegirls, whoever was all out. Yeah. I mean, it was always a good time. The vibes was always good. And back then, it was different because everybody's families knew each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So wasn't none of that. You won't be running around, running your mouth, cussing and being all wild.
Yeah.
That mom right there heard you, and it's definitely gonna make it back up to your house.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
Dope, it was pretty dope, man. I can't complain, man. You know how we do, man. Woody High, Rankin, 15104. Like it is what it is, man. That's the crib.
Nah, man, I think that's huge. You talk about that support and that family that was around. That was huge for us as young men coming up because, my parents knew your parents and they kept everybody in line. But you talk about sports. So you've been pretty much an athlete your whole life. At what age did you start playing sports?
Started around 6, man. And I was playing SAA football.
Yeah.
I'm one of the last Packers before they was the Swissville Flashes. I was a Packer. What else did we, man? You had baseball up. We'd go play baseball up Swissville, sign up, play up there. So it was like 6, man. It was, we try to get as many sports in as possible.
Nah, that's good, man. So you attended Woodland Hills High School. What was your experience like there as a student and as an athlete?
Bruh, man, it's funny because, now that I'm now being in the classroom every day, I listen to these kids and I'd be like, bruh, listen, we had a ball in high school.
Yeah.
I can't even stunt. Like my Woody High experience was dope. Yeah. You know what I mean? We was the first team to set it off with the state championship appearance. Mm-hmm. We fell short, but we set it off and got the ball rolling. High school was a good experience to me. It was funny. Funny you asked that because it was like when I got to Akron, when I got to college, there was some dudes kind of shocked, and we was like, bro, y'all ain't do that in high school? Like, it was, for me, it was like, man, we had a great time. Everybody was kicking it. I mean, you had your little pockets of stuff going on here and there, but any high school got that.
Right. So you talk about making history at the school. You guys won the Whippeal Championship in your junior year. You played outside backer. A lot of people don't know that, but you actually played outside linebacker / safety. They would call that a rover today. What was that experience like for you, making history at Woodland Hills, but also for the community, and then also get an opportunity to play in the state championship?
Chuck, it was wild, man. We to be honest, so my 10th grade year, I started at corner. So
that's right. Yeah.
So the switch happened. We had mad athletes. I mean, if I had the time, if I had to name all the athletes that we had, man, we that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
We had a whole nother show on that.
Yeah.
But we started off in I want to say a 4-3 my sophomore year, and then my junior year we switched over to that 4-4. So that walk up extra outside backer / extra safety guy. That's how I ended up there. But it was, oh man, like, what do you have, man? The football it was dope because your little league teams were organized and together. And a lot of people don't realize that funnels into your high school program. That's what makes it really go. So back in the day, it was dope because we used to have and it wasn't no online, so we had to see somebody or knew somebody. Yeah. You know what I mean? The Flashes could beat Will and Hill, the little Wolverines, and you know what I mean. You had Ewok and all them up there talking, but it was good banter because when we got together, there was nothing nobody could do with us. And once we finally found out how to put it together, that's when, like you said, that's when history started being made. It was ridiculous.
Man, talk about patience, man. So what a lot of people don't realize is you end up making your name as a running back, but because there was so much talent at Woodland Hills, you didn't get a chance to start right away at running back. So talk about, man, what that was like, doing whatever was asked of you to be the best teammate possible, playing corner, playing outside backer, and then you really didn't get your chance really until your senior year. A lot of people don't even realize that about you. Talk about what that was like, just having that patience and just staying determined.
Well, Chuck, man, it was just written like that. Like you knew coming up at Woody High, like you had to wait your turn. Yeah. It was almost like back in the day, it was like running back you almost. Yeah. Every year there was somebody. Yeah. It was somebody like boom, you had to like, oh shoot, it's him. So it was like understood. You know what I'm saying? Like so there was never any. It was not animosity. That's why it worked. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why Woody High became what it was. It worked because there was never animosity for the cats that was really contributing. You know what I'm saying? Like
for sure.
You always got a dude over here saying, man, he should be or I should be. Everybody, you gonna have that. You know what I mean? But if you really look in the mirror and be like, what have I done to be that? People do that back then. You knew that at Woody High. Like there was no animosity. So I knew that's cool. Let my man, whoever was in at the time, Fawn, Barksdale, my sophomore year, he ran, but it was still, we was almost by committee them first two, but man, we got after it, bro. It was like, it was funny. I just was watching a game and I was cracking up. Like I played a straight D mainly. Yeah. My junior year, I watched the junior year game, laughing my tail off. I said, man, we didn't care. We just wanted to play. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't no stars, no numbers, we was just playing. Yeah. And it was fun. So we had a blast, man.
No, you definitely had a blast. And then when you got your opportunity in your senior year, man, you took it by storm and played at a high level. So in your senior year, you set the single game record against Ambridge, rushing for 405 yards on 19 carries. What motivated you to have such a dominant performance that night?
This not a lot of people know this. So I had that summer I had got into some I went somewhere I wasn't supposed to go. Yeah. I was told not to go. I went anyway. Some things happened. Yeah. I ended up with a suspended license. So going into that senior year, license suspended. I'm with doing my normal pregame stuff Friday. Yeah. I go to pick up something to drink to go with the food that we had ordered. Yeah. Shouldn't have went. The person's car I'm driving got a system. Oh, so the bass rocking, but their plate is off the back. The plate is up in the window because the little hole or whatever was messed up. Mm-hmm. Plate falls down, and you know where I'm at. I'm in Churchill. Yeah. Get pulled over. Let me see your license. I was due to get Chuck. I was due to get my L's back in like a week. So I just could. So me being impatient, teenager. Yeah. So anyway, I got this new $150 citation in my back pocket for driving on a suspended license. So
going to the game.
And it's senior rec, so it's a little extra. That's a little extra topping for the pie right there. Yeah. I'm like, senior rec. I gotta do something. Yeah. I gotta have fun. So I went out. I just played as hard as I could, bruh. That game was pretty. It was pretty interesting. I don't think I really eclipsed 400. I fumbled. Okay. And one of my teammates picked it up and I got credit for them yards. And I think that's what actually put me over that.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. It's interesting, man. That's what motivated me, man. I had $150 citation, and when you're a high school kid and you ain't working, and your parents making sure you straight, and you messing up.
Yeah.
So I had something to do, man.
Yeah. So you pretty much were saying like, hey, I got to perform at a high level, have such a great performance that don't forget about any trouble I got in before that keep it pushing.
I had to do something, bro. It kept me on punishment.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in trouble, but I was I didn't get punishment. And some of these kids don't realize the difference. You can get in trouble, but punishment, it took something away, bro. I can't go do something. Oh,
yeah. No, especially at that time, man, like being in high school, being on punishment, that taking your freedom away, that was big, back then. But you have a great senior year. You dominate pretty much all year. And then at the end of the year, you get selected to the Big 33 game, right?
Yes, sir.
What was that experience like for you?
To me, man, it was I was super ecstatic. Just because I can't remember the number at the time, but we had a string. I don't know if people know this. Big 33 is huge in PA for all the viewers out here that's watching us here. So we had a string from what he had annually. There was somebody going. So the pressure is already kind of mounting through the season. Like, who's going to be the person to break this?
Yeah.
Like, who's not going? What team is not sending somebody?
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, oh man,
yeah,
it was dope because I had a conversation with Arlen Harris, played at Downingtown the year before, running back. Nice.
Went to Virginia, right? Went to Virginia.
Mm-hmm. He was my teammate in that game, and the year before we were at the game watching it, and that was after the state title game, and they had beat us. Mm-hmm. So we talking in the stands, and I was like, "I'll see you here next year, bro."
Yeah.
He's like, "All right, I'll see you next year." So it was kind of like from that moment, it was like, "Oh no, we going to this game. We getting this game in."
Yeah, for sure, man. What was it about you? I was a younger guy watching you play, and you always played whatever it was baseball or football. You always played really at a high level and was always one of the best guys around. But what was it about you always being confident? You always just had the confidence. You always had a swagger about yourself. No matter if you was playing, like you said, corner or safety, or just how you just talked to Arlen Harris at that point in time and say, hey, I'll be here next year in your junior year. Like, you always play with that sense of confidence. Where does that come from?
To be real, it's the background, Chuck. Man, everybody know our area is gritty. It's a gritty area in Western PA. Whether you up in Aliquippa, whether you down at Woody Had, now you see Clareton boys. You got, you know what I mean? Even when I was growing up, there were some ballers out in Duquesne. You know what I mean? It's just that area, Homestead, across the bridge. Yeah. So you got, in our area is ridiculous for athletes, man. Like, like I said, that's a whole nother topic.
Whole nother show. Yeah.
Yeah. But when you've been playing with guys or against guys your whole life that to me, I would consider top tier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's guys that I could name that should have been balling with us in college.
Right.
To be honest, some of them, if they would have balled and played at that level with us and not took different routes, some of us would not be like me. I may not even have cracked them. Yeah. Being real, I may not even crack the threshold that I hit. Like, it's some cats out there. So when you play with dudes like that your whole life, like play against teams like that, it's easy. It's what you was meant to do. It's like, man, I love playing this. Like, I love the competition. I love that. I love to be able to have that bragging right if it's that bragging right. You know what I mean? It's just little things that you use to motivate yourself. And you know who you are. And essentially, you really should know who you are.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what you're capable of. And as long as you're not taking it to a level of being disgusting and unbearable, you know what I mean? You should be confident in what you're doing.
Nah, for sure, man. And so you commit to the University of Akron. What made you commit there? We good?
Yeah, it froze. I got you.
All right. So you commit to the University of Akron.
Yes,
what
sir.
made you commit there, and what other schools were looking at you?
Well, I had a lot of safety looks. I was getting looked at. Maryland looked at me. Wisconsin, Youngstown State, obviously, Kent, Akron, the MAC, pretty much. Akron was just a different feel. It was like we went there on a visit, and it was like we was all family, the players, which to me at that age, that's what my concern was.
Yeah.
I want to be somewhere where the dudes is how we was at Woody High. Yeah. Like I could have went over anybody's crib on our team at Woody High and be like, "Oh, what's up?" And we was all good. Yeah. Everybody was all good. So I needed that same type of feel at Akron. Now, did our record always come out and show what this type of success that we had at Woody High? No. Obviously, we talking about a whole different level of football. Yeah. But being at Akron was the family feel. It was always the players, always making sure we was all okay or checking. You know what I mean? It didn't matter who it was. Right. So that was the dopest for me. Plus, I wanted my parents to see me play. I got a late call from Ole Miss in the recruiting process, and they offered me. But I think by then I was hep to the whole when a coach is leaving, they just start throwing offers out and stuff like that was going on. So I asked them on the phone straight up, like, how far is that on the drive? Because that was my biggest concern, was my parents. Like, can they watch me play? Right. I don't really care about how big the school is. I mean, that's dope, but because I knew the whole thing, whereas if you good, they're gonna find you. Yeah. They come get you. That's their job. They have scouts for a reason. That's what their job is. Yeah. So for me, it was really just trying to make sure I had a family feel. And the coaches, I knew they was pretty cool, man. It wasn't nothing about them at the time that was like, oh, don't come here. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? So it was pretty dope. It was a pretty dope experience. But that was that Akron thing, man. Yeah, no, for sure. And so you go to the University of Akron. Now you're coming from Rankin, PA, and then you go to Northeast Ohio. You know, talk about what that first year was like transitioning athletically and academically. Well, I'll cover the academics first. First semester wasn't too bad because you know how it is when you play in college ball. It's structured, especially during the season. Mm-hmm. During the season, like during the fall season, which is that first fall I was in school, everything was like super structured. Yeah. So for me, it was not a big change when it came to that academically. It was go to class. It was make sure you sat. Yeah. Even if I was redshirting or not, whatever have you, just it was the same as far as high school goes, I would say. Just make sure you get up and go to class is the only difference. Athletically, the adjustment came because as bad as I wanted to play as a true freshman, those coaches, they didn't see it that way. You know what I mean? We didn't agree on that. Yeah. So I was, and I was brought up the proposition, do y'all want to switch to defense? That way you can play as a true freshman. Yeah. And I was like, well, no, because I could have went to Wisconsin or I could have went a bigger school to play defense. Mm-hmm. I didn't want that wasn't it. I wanted to hold that pill, man. There's something about that that awkward silence you get while you running down the field, you don't hear nothing. Yeah. Play over type stuff. So so athletically, the big adjustment was, I would say, probably speed at first. Not everybody that we played in the whips was fast. We was the fastest. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we was like, all right, it would be us, Penn Hills, McKeesport, but they ran out wishbone. So you know what I mean? They really never displayed it. Yeah. You didn't really get to see it athletically. Right. It was always bottled up in some handball fakes and gestures and all that waste of talent. Yeah. I mean, they won one. Shout out to B Short and all them. They won one, but so it would be Penn Hills, McKeesport, Woodland Hills. My NA my junior year when we got switched to the North Conference, they was pretty fast. Ryan Tolhurst, I think, was a state track dude for the hurdles, bro. He was fast. He was pretty fast. So speed wise, we was always faster than everybody else. So getting to college, bro, those cats was moving, man. Guys was moving. You got dudes. It looked like you open, and then all of a sudden, they standing next to you. Yeah. You got like it was crazy. So that was my biggest adjustment. And then obviously you gotta hit the weights a little differently. You gotta be a little bit different. Like we had a good strength program at Woody High. Don't get it twisted. And I think as kids, we didn't realize how good we had it until we got to college.
Right. Right.
Because you I don't know, you remember there'd be dudes in the weight room, you'd be looking at them like, oh, dude can't power clean.
Yeah. We had to learn that.
Yeah. Like he's starting with the bar, cuz like we almost 20 years old. You just starting with the bar. What you do in high school? They wouldn't live then. Yeah. We was getting it in. Yeah. Climbing ropes, all kind of crazy stuff. So that part was the blessing in disguise. But yeah, man, the physicality piece to it. Chuck, I had a guy ask me one time, man, at Akron when I first got there. I'm a freshman, bro, and it's our first scrimmage. And he's been there for a year or two. He gonna ask me how the hitting was. Hey, how they hitting out there? I'm like, bro, I'm a baby. What do you mean? You supposed to be telling me that. You're supposed to hit me up like, bro, be careful. They tell me the number. Tell me the dudes who smack it. Oh, I need to know all that. He asking me. I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna be good.
Yeah.
Good time. So that would be the difference. I would say the speed of the game, conditioning your body for the banging that's going on, and then them academics are straight. Them academics are straight default. Spring, woo.
Yeah.
That's when they cut the cord, bro. You realize there's way too much freedom if you ain't paying attention.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that you bring up. A lot of people don't understand it's a marathon. You know, you could have good grades the first semester, but then the second semester could be completely different because you talk about the structure. You're not in season. You know, spring is a little different. Spring ball ain't till April, so you got a lot of time. You really just lifting, working out. You do a little bit of winter conditioning, but you got a lot of time on your hands. You know what I'm saying? So
too much time.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that, man, like it's a marathon. You got to stay focused all year round because there's different things going on in the year. But you was able to make it through that first year. And so your redshirt freshman year, you go up against the number 2 ranked team in the country, Penn State. You score your first college touchdown against Penn State. Now they got Courtney Brown, they got LeVar Arrington, a bunch of guys out there. What was that? Yeah, Brandon Short. What was that experience like for you?
Bruh, the shock of 100,000 like on top of you that ain't your 100,000 is so different. Yeah, it's so different. To this day, it's one of my best college experiences. Just because I think there was a tweet the other day like I'm addicted to that sound, that roar, or the boo. I don't care. It's all collective. That collective loud. Yeah. So for me, it was the adjustment, man. Watching them dudes fly, they had the depth on that squad. Yeah. It was, I BS you not, Chuck. It was 14-10 when I scored. Yeah. I'm over here geek. I'm hushing the crowd.
I remember that.
Chuck, man, they switched platoons, and it was like they ain't miss a beat. Yeah. Yeah. We try to switch dudes up because it's game one. We ain't trying to get nobody hurt. Man, the drop off is ridiculous. Yeah. So you can see seen the difference from the Penn State Akron then, man. But that experience was dope, man. That's one of them things where you never forget about it, yo. Like you're like, yeah, this is ingrained. This one here, man.
Yeah, and I think the fact too, you scored, so you got an opportunity like to get in the end zone and play as a freshman and get on the field and do well, and you continue that success through the whole year. You finish out your freshman year with scoring 14 touchdowns, and you win Freshman Player of the Year in the MAC conference. How did it feel to achieve that?
It was pretty dope, man. It was. I tell you the way I felt. It was like, wow, my hard work is paying off. Yeah. Like the sweat, the being homesick during the first year when you redshirt and can't go to all the games, and it's almost like torture because you've been playing your whole life. Like I said, you start at 6 and you play continuously, and in your first year of college where you gotta practice but you can't play. Yeah. It's like you want to talk about some adversity there. That alone is like it can beat some people down.
Right.
And I can understand it, because when you feel like you could be playing, it's a tough thing. So for me, like that freshman of the year thing was pretty dope. It was unexpected, because this how I know I like to play just for fun. It was something I didn't even, it was never discussed.
Right.
Like I never talked about it with the coaches, with P-Dub and them. I never even really brought it up. Like it was never a discussion. It was just always, I feel like the stuff that happened for me as far as the playing career just happened just based off playing and what I put in. And it was never a discussion like, ooh, yeah, I want to be this. Like, no, the only thing I really wanted to be coming from the crib was in the league. Yeah. I didn't care how. I didn't care about rewards, awards, and all. I just that part didn't matter. I wanted to go to the league. That was all. That's all I can remember thinking about.
Nah, man, I think that's huge, man. And then you play your redshirt sophomore year, and you take your game to the next level. You rushed for over 1,000 yards. You had 16 touchdowns that year, and you was named second team All-MAC. You know, what went into that offseason for you to perform even better than you did your freshman year?
I remember specifically talking with it was Coach Bailey and Coach Winters. That offseason they wanted me to put a little more weight on. They wanted me to bulk up some. Because you know, back then you were in the offset eye. We wasn't spreading the ball all over the field yet. So they was like, put some weight on. We got you know what I mean, you're gonna be the horse. It was like, all right. So for me, it was I lifted pretty hard that offseason, like really into it. I tried to get as much speed work in as I could. And I just wanted to build, you know what I mean? I just wanted to build on that first opportunity I got. I was like, man, let's keep going. Plus the group I played with, those guys brought me in, you know what I mean? The Butchie Washingtons, the White Smiths, like them guys, that was my crew. Them was our boys, you know what I mean? So it was like, I want to play for them. They going out, you know what I mean? They trying to get to the league too. So for me, I was trying to stay, you should stay hungry.
Yeah. Right.
Never satisfied. Stay hungry.
For sure, man. And then, so the summer before your junior season, you get nominated as a Doak Walker candidate for the upcoming season. You know, how did it feel to be in the mix of that conversation? Here it is. You come into Akron. You redshirt your first year. You're not sure when you're going to get on the field. Your first year, you win MAC Player of the Year for the freshman award. Your second year, your second team All-MAC, 16 touchdowns. You're on the right pace. And then going into your junior season before it even starts, you're a Doak Walker candidate. You in the mix of those conversations. So how did that all feel for
you? Chuck, I never even thought of that. Yeah. Crazy as it may sound, man. Like Doak Walker. So you knew there was awards after a while. Like you knew about the Biletnikoff. You knew about the Heisman just because you playing and that's around, you know. But I never really, like I said, it was never really a concentration. Like I never was like, okay, I got to get this Doak trophy. It was never like it was cool. Now I mean I enjoyed some of the clippings. It was nice to see. It was nice for my parents because they really enjoyed it. But for me, it was like, I swear it was league. Like I couldn't see nothing. Yeah. That was it.
Yeah.
And I'm a person, my wife will tell you, tunnel vision sucks with me. Once my mind is on that one thing, yeah, everything else kind of, yeah, that's on the side burner for a minute. This is where I'm at.
Yeah,
so yeah. For me, that was like the door at the end of the hallway that I was always trying to get to.
Yeah.
So the Doak thing was dope. Looking back at it now, the preseason joints. I remember having this discussion. I think it was Jake. Preseason discussion. We know how that goes. It's like 50 people on a nomination list, which out of 100-some odd colleges, man, I can't complain. That ain't bad.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was unreal for me. And now looking back at it, I probably should have appreciated that moment more, yeah, versus kind of having my blinders on and trying to get to that proverbial door down the end of the hall. So, but it I never thought about that, Chuck. But now now you already have me out here thinking about stuff.
Nah, man, you got to reminisce on some of those memories because, a lot of people don't understand, what people did before them. Like you talk about the high school that we came from in Woodland Hills. And then a lot of people don't really remember what people did in college, and so you had a lot of success in your earlier years. And so you go into your junior season, you're starting off on pace to rush for 1,000 yards again. And then you tear your ACL in the Western Michigan game. What is running through your mind when you mess up your knee, and what's the first thought that comes to you as you're going through that experience?
The very first thought when it happened was, I'm done. And that's literally, I wish if back in them days you could be mic'd up, you would have heard me, because I said it out loud. Like I literally said it like, all right, you done, B. Like I was talking to myself. You done, B. You just got to get up. Don't let them carry you off. Get up and try to walk off. That was literally my first thought. So I kind of started breaking it down. Now that I think back to it, I was starting to break it down into little goals before I even got into the real tough part of the process. Yeah. Before even knowing that it was officially torn, I knew my body, but I knew it was gone then. Mm-hmm. So I just started with little goals right then and there. It was all right, get off the field. Try to get off the field on your own. Don't let nobody carry you off. That was the first thing. Mm-hmm. Then we get there, get to the sideline. Obviously, they do the thing. So in my mind, I'm like, well, maybe. That's when you start having those, well, maybe it ain't. You know what I mean? Because they start talking to you. They checking you. They do the little ACL, the tests. So I'm like, well, maybe it ain't. Anyway, fast forward the whole process. And I'm like, okay, get to the doctor. I went to Freddie Fu and them. And I think this is what kind of got to some of the coaches. I don't think they liked it because I didn't use Akron's doctors. There was a relationship already established with Freddie Fu and them. And if people don't know Dr. Fu and them and Dr. Horner, they do all the Steelers, Penguins. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I already knew their office. So we decided to go home, and I think that kind of rubbed some people in Akron the wrong way. Not that I was trying to be, I don't know what they thought, but different or whatever, or better than everybody else. I just went home because that's what I knew.
Right.
You know what I mean? I knew what I was getting. The history of people that I had seen teammates with ACLs back then. Now, mind you, ain't no 6-month recoveries yet on the books.
Yeah.
Ain't no Adrian Petersons and all them back. They ain't on the books yet.
Yeah.
So back then, it was a year, bro. Like it was 9 months to the year before you felt like yourself again.
Yeah.
So that piece, it was learning about it, and it was just building every day. Like, all right, blew your knee, let's go. What we gotta do next? What we gotta push through? Was there days where it was trash? Oh, definitely. Days you just be like, man, this is crazy. Like, is there feel sorry for yourself days? Like, why me? Yeah. That might still be happening to this day. Yeah. Still be like, I can't believe this. Like, everything was fine.
Yeah.
But that was tough, man. That was one of the, I still say it, I don't wish that on a worst enemy. Yeah. Blowing your knee out when you feel like you're just getting it in the game slows down for you, and every year you're progressing and building that resume. That's a tough, and then what a lot of people don't realize, it was game 5 of the season. So you can't, it was back then they was sticklers on that medical red shirt.
Yeah.
So they used that, I forget what the percentages was. You couldn't start more than 80% of the snaps or something crazy like that. I was like, well, that's out the window for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I played well over 80% of our offensive snaps.
For sure.
So it was just one of them things, Chuck, man, where the life lesson, and obviously at a young adolescent, you don't really know what you're going through yet. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been in that position before. I really didn't have anybody to reference as far as close to me. Nobody in the family. had been in that type of situation. So it was almost like I was one of the first to ever to have that type of situation go down for within my world.
For sure. Yeah.
So it's like, damn, I don't even know where to go from here. So but that was life lesson. I tell you that much. Yeah. But it was dope. It was what now looking back, it was what I needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a slow yourself down a little bit. Maybe you getting ahead of yourself. Because I think the confidence, we talked about the confidence. I think my confidence was starting to teeter-tot on egoism. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not that I was treating people bad, but I was starting to maybe feel my own, you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, you there. No, not quite. So it was a little humbling because I never played like that. Yeah. But I think I was, let God tell me, I was probably teeter-totting on that fence. Yeah. Like you was getting real close to being a little bit full of yourself. So you know, man, you win some, you lose some. I look at that as a learning experience and a dub, man. I'm winning now.
Yeah. Nah, you definitely won, man. So you finished your career at the University of Akron being one of the best running backs to ever come through there. 43 rushing touchdowns is the most by any running back to ever come through school history. How does it feel to go down as one of the best players to ever play at the school?
Man, Chuck, I be liking people to break stuff, bro. Yeah. I need that 43 broken. Yeah. Because that means you putting in work. Yeah. That's how call me old school, call it cliche. I don't know. I like it like that. Like I want that 400 to go down there what he had. Mm-hmm. I want somebody to smack that. Yeah. I thought somebody was gonna do it. Bonka, somebody. Yeah. Reem was running crazy too.
But a little close to it, but nobody's got it yet. Yeah.
I be so for me that the 43s is dope, man. It's a dope thing to have. The funny thing that I always talk about is I crack jokes with there's a buddy of mine up here in Columbus, and I coached with him. He was at Ashland. He was a receiver at the time. Mm-hmm. We was going back and forth about who got the better hands. I'm like, bruh. And I forget my total catches. I had to call my dad one time. Like, damn, how many total catches I had? Yeah. Man, he told me, I had one less than this guy. He was a receiver. Yeah. I said, man, I'm not about to argue with you. They was they was telling me to rock.
So I think that's the thing that I want you to talk a little bit more about too. Like a lot of people didn't realize about you too. You was one of the first guys that was like a true dual threat, particularly in the MAC. Like you had guys like Chester Taylor that really was just known for really, really running the ball. Mm-hmm. Like the first real dual threat that we really seen, particularly at that time in the MAC, where they would put you in as you were the fourth receiver.
I was the fourth receiver.
You would go in the slot and you were running routes. I think one year you might have caught close to like 40-something balls, a little bit over 40 balls one year. And you was toting the ball a lot too. You was probably running the ball for about 200 times too. So you was one of the first guys that you could be utilized in a lot of different ways. And a lot of other people don't realize too is that you also return punts and kicks your first year. So you was the guy that did everything. Most running backs now, it's like it's the running back by committee or the third down backs.
Right.
Or the first and second down backs. You were all down back. I mean, they had to see on first down, second down, third down. And then on the other side, you going back deep for punt return. So you was one of the first guys that did the whole thing, man. You return punts. How many running backs really return kicks or punts? So you were one of the guys that kind of did it all and embraced it. And like you talked about, you was like their fourth receiver that went into the game. And the coaches felt comfortable putting you in there because you could run routes and you had great hands. You know,
good time.
So I that's what I think was the separation. You know, when people talk about, even from our area, they talk about great running backs and people talk about Woodland Hills, and we had a bunch of them, like you talked about. We had a bunch of them. And even in Akron, there's been some good guys that kind of come through the program, even after you and before you. But I think the separation with you is that you did it all, though. Like, because there's some guys that, okay, they can run the ball, they can catch, but can you return punts? You know what I mean? And then you actually took one to the end zone. You know what I mean? So
a couple of them, Chuck.
I need
TDs, Chuck.
Yeah, you got a couple of them. So that's
I got shoot. I had one or two called back.
Yeah.
I had one against Navy when we was down and came back. Western Michigan at home on a bounce. And they were sleeping, and I ran up and snatched. Yeah. And then I think was it UConn? But one or two, I think like two of them got called back, man.
Yeah. So that's
But I
what
had
I'm
a
saying.
ball.
Yeah, that's
That
what I'm
was fun.
saying. I think that was the difference, and we haven't really seen a lot of guys that can do all the
Mm-hmm.
different things. You was really like a running back, but you was more of just like an athlete. You know what I mean? You could do
Right.
multiple things at once, man. I think that was the separation, man, and why you one of the greatest to come through University of Akron. But now you in a different career.
Yes, sir.
Finished up with school, and now you decided to go into education. You're a special education teacher at Canal Winchester High School in Columbus. Talk about how you got to that point. What made you go into education and your current role right now?
Well, Chuck, my journey in education was a shouldn't have been, but it was a complicated one.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes you know how they talk about what your purpose is,
Yeah.
and things of that nature. When we're young, we don't realize our purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I say I'm winning now, because that knee injury, let's say it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's say it does not happen. And everything that I wanted in life ends up coming to fruition.
Yeah.
Who knows if I make it to the classroom? You know what I mean? Who knows if I make it to help our youth, especially right now in the time that we in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like we dealing with a lot of mental health,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things where the kids are questioning themselves.
Right.
The family dynamic
Mm-hmm.
in this country has been broken down.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I feel like it started in the Black home as the experiment per se. It looks like it, but when you teach, you realize that it's a whole country with broken homes. It's white, black. There's really no color barrier on that. White, black, the Latin homes, whatever ethnicity you identify with, it's everywhere. So being in them broken homes, man, these kids, they needed people like us, man, that just you care about what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
You want to help them through those situations. And I think, and it's different from ours because, yeah, we may have been in project areas or lower income areas,
right.
But most of the time, like I said earlier, families knew each other, and families, it was the old school adage, it takes a village to raise a child.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now that's broken. Like now you go to correct somebody's child, man, you might have to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? Like they're not even gonna really talk to the child about what they're doing that may be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna ready to jump on you, like, don't talk to my baby. Like this, like, so the whole family dynamic and making sure our neighbors and one another are as good has been lost. So for me, being in a school, I'm doing exactly what I was supposed to be doing. Right. You know what I mean? So, and this is another cliche thing, but it's real. I don't work a day in my life because I love what I'm doing, bro. Yeah. Like real talk. Like I love what I'm doing. Yeah. Like it's fulfilling, it's rewarding. Especially I like 10th grade specifically because that to me is the gateway to what's really about to happen to you. Yeah. Like 9th grade, you get that. All right, you still a little quirky, squirrely, you know what I mean? Still want to run down the halls, kind of. Yeah. You're still a little childish. Yeah. You get that 10th grade, now you're starting to realize, like, oh, hold up. All right, I'll be a junior in a second. And then that junior year is going to go fast. And that senior year, it's a breeze. The senior year is like that. Right. So for me, I try to work with the kids and I'm in that direction spot. Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, what direction are you headed? You know what I mean? You're in 10th grade now. We got to start thinking about some real things. Like you said, check it's a marathon. Mm-hmm. Can't think high school sweet at 10th grade, bro, because that 11th grade year going to jump on you, and that senior year really going to jump on you. Right. And then you get a lot of people that's like, dang, I don't know what I want to do. Well, right. In 10th, when you were still running down the halls and I was trying to get you together, yeah, you thought it was a game, and now it's real out here. You realize that at 18, a lot of y'all's parents may not have the funding or the support. Yeah. To get, you know what I mean, to help you get where you didn't do anything to help. Yeah. Yeah. You made it harder. Yeah. So that's why I like what I'm doing, man. I really do love it, dude. It's it's bananas, man. The kids are great. Obviously I love the young black men. I like to try to, you know what I mean? We have some discussions, important discussions about who we are.
Right.
As far as their growth and being in a rural, because it's a pretty rural district. You know what I mean? I've been in Gehenna's district. I've been in, I coached at Whitehall. Canal's kind of out there. So we got some of our, and I know a lot of people like, man, we need black men in the city. We also need the black men in the suburbs, because there's some children out there that need us. They're navigating some unknown territories,
right?
Type of ordeals, and you know what I mean. They need it, so we're needed everywhere. So if anybody watching, man, if you got a heart to help kids and help our young teenagers, man, go ahead and find your best way and get after it, dog.
Yeah, for sure. Now I appreciate you sharing that, man. Now that's big, man. You're doing great work, man, in education and help building them up and preparing them for life after high school, which, like you said, if you're not prepared, you know, it can hit you in the mouth and it could be tough for you. But we're going to transition to the last part of the show. It's the top 5 segment. So I got some categories for you, and you give me your top 5 in those categories. All right. So starting off with the first one.
All right.
I know you're a big fan of hip hop. Give me your top 5 rappers of all time.
Dang, in no specific order, because I know this could create a debate in itself. You know what I mean? Let's go no specific order. I like Nas. I like Jay. I vibe with Big. Pac, obviously. And I guess when I was younger, bro, KRS-One, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people, he don't get talked about enough, but KRS-One, I think I could put them in my 5. Yeah. They all give you something different. You know what I mean? It's a Big with the stories. Pac, depending on which Pac you get in. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Pac might be mad. Pac might be poetic.
Yeah.
He might want to dance. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna dog Pac, but he was a background dancer for Digital Underground. But we go there.
Right.
So yeah, man, Jay with the words and the, you know what I mean, his wordplay. Nas is depending on what Nas you get as well. You know what I mean? We getting Esco, who we getting?
Yeah. Nah, for sure, man. Them guys right there. Any one of those guys, man, you name, man, they one of the top to ever do it. So that's a good 5 right there. So B Payne, you played the running back position. Give me your top 5 running backs of all time.
Seriously?
Or your favorite 5. It could be your favorite 5 because it might be hard to do your top 5.
Obviously the boy Walter Sweetness.
Yeah.
He in there. I like old school tapes of Gale Sayers, bro, just because he out.
Yes.
My man needed a little bit of daylight and he was gone.
Yeah.
So I would say, give me Sweetness, give me Walter Payton.
Yeah.
Give me Barry Sanders, obviously. I think some of them you don't need to say.
Yeah.
Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, Gale Sayers. Dang. I like Marshall Falk. I like Marshall Falk, man. Yeah. Marshall Falk, he did them all. Receiver, running back. You know what I mean? I used to watch him late night San Diego State games.
Yeah.
Shoot, that's 4.
That's 4.
Oh man, who could I throw in that 5th slot that I enjoy watching? My underrated guy, I'm putting him up there, man. Fred Taylor, dog.
Taylor, yeah. Fred Taylor.
I vibe with them Deuce 8s, bro. Them Deuce 8s go hard.
Yeah. Fred Taylor was the man. No, that's a good 5 right there. Particularly when you talk about Fred Taylor, man, he's a guy as time goes on, man, he'll probably get in the Hall of Fame. His numbers kind of speak for that, man. So
his numbers is better than, it's funny, man. I might be biased right now, but he's got identical or better numbers than like 4 or 5 of the dudes that's in now.
No, for sure. That's been debated on like on like sports talk shows, they talked about how Fred Taylor is one of the guys, man, that people forget about, but his numbers and what he did in Jacksonville, and even what he did a little bit with the Patriots too, man, he's in the topic conversation, and hopefully, man, he gets in there because he definitely should be in there. But moving to the next question, give me top 5 NBA players of all time.
Ooh, you got the tough ones, bro. Dang. I'm biased, bro. All 4 out of my 5 probably gonna be Lakers.
Yeah.
I've been a Laker fan my whole life, but shoot. Well, one's a Laker now, obviously Braun.
Yeah.
I'm going people that I've seen in my life: Braun, Magic, Mike. I don't like putting Shaq in there because he was just big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He dunked all over everybody. I mean, he was fun to watch, but athletic Shaq was pretty decent, but his jump shot was still ass.
Yeah.
My language.
Yeah, that's all good, man.
My last 2 would be I got Magic, Mike, Braun, Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put Kobe in there. I can ride with Kobe.
Nah, that's good.
Shoot, Kareem.
Yeah, that's a good 5.
You can't block the sky hook, bro.
Yeah.
You can't block the sky hook.
Unstoppable. That move was, man, created by him. It's never been reciprocated. And
you can't block it. You know you can do with it.
And it might not be done again. No, so that's definitely a good 5 right there. So for my last question,
yes, sir.
What are the top 5 places you've ever visited or vacationed?
All right, call me beach bum. I'm a beach bum, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, they be wanting to go skiing and snowboard, and I'd be like, I'll be at the cabin. I'll cook while y'all go play in the snow, and then y'all come in and y'all got food. I'll go, but I don't want to go outside. I'm a beach bum. Give me Turks and Caicos. Gorgeous. Grand Cayman. Grand Cayman is dope because they really try not to have resort all inclusive, so it makes you go out and you learn the culture and talk to the people. Well, at least I do. I don't like that. I can get American burgers in America because I don't want to burger. I ain't come to Grand Cayman to get a burger, bro. I want to know what y'all smashing. Let me eat some of that. So Cayman, Turks, Toronto was dope.
Toronto was dope. Yeah, I've been there.
Toronto was a dope. We had a nice little trip in Toronto. Obviously, Jamaica. You see where I'm at. Where I'm at.
Yeah, the weather, the climate. Yeah,
I'm down in that water. And then as we did a nice 10-day trip out to Cali, but we hit up different cities. We hit up Oakland. We hit up San Fran. We hit up Santa Monica, LA.
A lot of places.
Yeah, what's the one we hit up? So if I had to put a trip on there, the Cali trip was dope because we just kicked it. Drove through what's the famous little beach town? Oh, Jesus. It's right on the coast in California.
Oh
my gosh, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's kind of calm too. It ain't
Venice Beach? Nah.
Venice is near. I was there. The Venice is near LA, but it's geez, oh man, people. It's kind of a chill beach area that people go to all the time in California. Now you got me over here. Look, I'm on my map. I can't remember the name, bro.
It's all good.
Hold on, I'm about to find it right here. I went to Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Santa Barbara's real chill. Like it's like a nice little beach town. You go, that's like me and the wife. Hey, we was talking like, hey, we come here and retire, kind of just chill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got beach life.
Yeah.
What in the heck's? I'm about to find it right now. Malibu.
Oh, yeah.
So we drove through Malibu, had lunch. So I would say, so to answer your question, the Cali trip was dope. Cayman, Turks, Jamaica, and Toronto was another one, bro.
Yeah, that was good, man. Nah,
That was a good one, man.
nah, those are some good ones, man. There's a couple of different ones I haven't heard before, man. But man, we at the end of the show, man. Number one, I just want to thank you for coming on to the show. And the whole reason of your journey and why I came up with this concept, man, is really to talk about everyday people doing some extraordinary things. You know,
Right.
we talked about earlier in the show how well you did on the football field and all your accomplishments that you achieved there. But what you're doing now, man, with the youth, man, it's tremendous, man. And it's so good because you have the experience with the education. You also did it from a sports standpoint, but you also a father and you have a family too, man. So you could talk to all these young guys about all the different things, man, that you've experienced over the year, all the good things and even some of the bad things, man. And you can teach them the right way. And so many times, man, we get caught up, man, with the A-list celebrities and actors, and we got love for them, man, but we want to make sure that we highlight the everyday people, man, doing great work, man. So a lot of times, man, we wait till people pass away to talk about the good things that they do or give them their flowers, or I like to say, give them their crown. So, man, we want to give you your crown today, man. We appreciate the work that you're doing. Keep up the good work, man. People forget about how legendary you was prior to what you're doing right now. So we had to make sure that we highlighted that as well. But I salute what you're doing, man, and God bless you, man, for real.
Thanks, Chuck, man. Hey, and big ups to you, man, doing this, man. This is a good thing, man. Get people to see. You got to know where you came from to know where you're going, man. This is a dope thing you're doing. I appreciate this, man. And I watched a few of them too, man. We got to get some boys out here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Definitely, man. Now, I appreciate it, B Payne, man. Thanks for tuning in to your journey. Be safe and God bless.
God bless.